45, gathering together. 45 is a hexagram that talks about human beings or communities coming together to acquire a particular outcome or to progress towards a particular outcome. So when you get the 45th hexagram, it is saying to you that there needs to be a community around you that is moving in the same direction that you're moving in. There needs to be a support system there with you that's moving in the same direction that you are moving. And if you don't have this support system, then you need to rethink whether or not this is something that you should involve yourself with or in. Example, you ask the oracle about a relationship that you wish to get involved in with another person, and you get the 45th hexagram. The oracle is asking you, what do you have in common? Are your values in common? Are your desires in common? Are they mutual? And if they are not, is there an ability for you to find some mutual foundational point upon which you can build a relationship with or on? And so when you get the 45th hexagram, it's talking about mutuality, mutual cooperation, community, and gathering together with a common value, common goals that are relative to the community that you're involved in. If you get this hexagram, the oracle is asking you to pay attention to that. Are you involved in a situation where there are common goals, common values, common objectives, and or there's a common foundation upon which goals, values, and objectives can be built? 45, gathering together. The next hexagram, 32. It's called Duration. And the Wilhelm-Baynes book, the Book of Changes by I Ching, the I Ching Book of Changes. Okay, so now we're looking at 32, Duration. The hexagram talks about changes, how things change, how seasons move from one to the other, how the weather changes, how the night changes into day, and how the day changes into the night. And it asks, are you in a position where you can maintain your inner center as things change around you? The oracle is asking, are you able to endure? Can you last through the whole process? Are you willing to see the thing from the beginning to the end? And typically when you get this 32nd hexagram, there is some question as to whether or not you can see, maintain, sustain all the way to the end of the project, whatever that project may be. Whether it's a job, whether it's moving to a new city, whether it's moving to a new country, whether it's changing your diet, whether it's getting into a relationship. Are you willing to deal with, or are you capable of dealing with the changes, the winds of change as they come along, as they adjust, as they alter a situation, and it may look like it's not going to come back to the center point. Therefore, you must be centered. The oracle is asking you, be centered. When you see the night, you know the day is coming next. When you see the day, you know the night will follow. So in the daylight, being anxious about the nighttime is taking you from your center. And at night, being anxious about the daytime takes you from your center. There's an inner knowing that this too shall pass. This too shall pass, and you maintain your center and your inner connectedness with all that is, and move through the various changes that come along. The Oracle is asking you when you get 32, are you able to do that? Moving forward, the 28th hexagram, I'm smiling because, I have seen so many instances of this hexagram coming up. And people wondering, why am I getting this hexagram? Preponderance of the great. I call this hexagram the pressure cooker hexagram. Too much pressure. You get this hexagram because there are a lot of things that are on your plate. A lot. And not only that, these things are of utmost importance. There are many decisions that need to be made, and they are extremely important decisions. They're not things that you can just forget about or put on the back burner, or they may even be things that you put on the back burner and now they want to have some attention, given to them. So when you get to 28th hexagram, look at your life. Like, what have you done? How much have you taken on? How many serious projects have you involved yourself in? Okay? And the Oracle will say you need to sit down and take a deep breath and see how many of those things you can let go of and how many of those things you need to continue with. And if you're struggling with it, to be able to say, maybe you can't let it go, but to be able to say, listen, y'all, I'm in over my head. I really am. I've gotten in over my head, and I need to find a way to bring some peace into my existence here, because I got too many responsibilities. Basically, I got too many, and being honest about that, so that you don't have high blood pressure, nervous breakdown, heart attack. Basically, too much pressure, too much blood pushing through them closed arteries. And next thing you know, you're having a coronary. So you want to watch that. When you get to 28th hexagram, your health is in danger. Or, put it more mildly, you need to pay attention to what's going on with you health-wise. Because it can be a serious, serious situation if you don't pay attention to 28, preponderance of the great. Our next hexagram will be the joyous lake, 58. In Wilhelm-Baynes, it's called the joyous lake. And you get this hexagram, you're like, wow, the joyous lake. And the Oracle is saying to you, yes, it is so joyful, little grasshopper. But how about that joy that you have on the inside of self? Are you content? Are you able to create happiness in your life without being dependent on someone else to create happiness for you? Are you able to be content in your life with where you are and what you're doing? Are you able to feel good about who you are and what you've accomplished? Or not, but just to be able to feel good about who you are. Are you able to stand within yourself, within your life, and find joy? Because the flip side of that is that when people do not find joy in their life, they self-medicate. And that's what this oracle, that's the other side of this hexagram. Self-medication. People tend to drink or do drugs to trying to find that joy, that comfort that they couldn't find on their own. So they use something outside of themselves to find it. So that's the other part of this. Every hexagram has an inverse. So while this hexagram says a joyous lake, it is also talking about self-medication and how we will use certain things to make us feel good outside of ourselves instead of looking on the inside and finding joy within. And that's part of our culture. It's part of the way this culture goes. I mean, you're told that you should go here and do that and do this, and all these things make you happy. Whiter teeth, bluer eyes, stronger muscles, whatever. These things will make you happy. You know, eat these foods and you'll feel good, and be in this religion and you'll be saved, and all of these kinds of things that people look outside of themselves for, and then wonder why they're not satisfied on the inside. So satisfaction comes from within. And it also talks about having a strong sex drive. A strong sex drive, and using sex as a way to fulfill yourself, to find joy within yourself, using sex. So the Oracle, this is what 58 is talking about. For all of you sexaholics out there, remember, if you get the 58th hexagram, the Oracle is asking you to find joy within, not using someone else to give you joy, or something else to give you joy, or some religion to bring joy into your life, but to find inner joy within self. And that comes from conscious connection. Consciousness connection. Soul speak connection. Understanding that we are physical people, beings, but we are spirit or soul having a physical experience. So we can re-identify with what's happening around us, and that thing that's happening around us can bring us joy if we identify with the consciousness of all things, or if we disconnect, that thing can bring us sadness. That's not to say that we should allow ourselves to be abused, to allow ourselves to be dishonored in any way. Because once we dishonor physicality, now we're dishonoring our soul. So we need to be conscious that it doesn't, that we're asking, that the Oracle is expressing to you that you find inner joy, inner peace, inner light, inner love. And then you'll be able to function very effectively in the outer world. But if you use the outer world to help you function, then the outer world will become a crutch. It'll become an addiction. And that is what the 58th hexagram, according to my knowledge, is talking about. Thank you for watching these videos. I appreciate the time that you've taken out of your life to listen, learn, watch, and study the I Ching with me. My name is Namaste, and I can be reached at namaste@gmail.com. And if you're interested in getting a workshop, I'm available for workshops. And if you're interested in getting a personal reading, I'm also available to do that as well. So thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Peace and blessings to you, your family, and loved ones.